People have to eat to survive. And, I always go to the scripture, man does not live on bread alone, but every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. And I tend to look at our feeding people in that aspect is that people need to eat, but they need to eat spiritually too. And, we all eat around the table. I mean, when you're a kid, you ate around the table. I own a restaurant. People come to my restaurant to eat, and we create a kind of a fellowship hall at our restaurant for our customers. We engage with our customers. I always preach to our employees that you don't want to be a walking vending machine. People don't come to your restaurant, put money in, and say goodbye without being connected. So there's a social component that they're live human beings that have needs, and not only food needs, but spiritual needs too. So charity, kindness, and giving people hope that there's a future. And that's the number one compliment we get at our restaurant as our employees of how nice they are. All of us have had good food and bad food. And I think we can all relate to a bad meal or a good meal. And the thing with Jesus is that we're in the middle of a bad meal. His food replenishes the stuff that we've been feeding our lives with bad. And when we realize that when we eat food, it becomes part of us. That we eat a carrot, it becomes part of us. But when we consume the Lord in Holy Communion, we become Him. It's the opposite effect. We become Him. So He feeds us with His flesh to become Him. And when we look at it that way, it helps us change the world. I was blown away by how much the Bible talks about food. Almost every chapter in the Bible has food. When you do Google searches for food in the Bible, it's endless. You have to go to the next step. You see almonds. Well, what were almonds used for? You see pomegranates. You see all these things with food, and we think about just eating that stuff. But in the Bible, everything with food has a meaning. I mean, the almonds, think of almonds. Almonds budded Aaron's rod, almond blossoms. So, and there's meaning to that. There's context to every bit of food. So it's not just not the food mentioned to eat it. There's a meaning behind every food in the Bible. I think when we think of Jesus at the Last Supper with his friends and that he shared a meal with them, and he knew that the next day he was going to get crucified and die. And he's trying to convey the intimacy of that to his apostles and his friends, and they weren't quite grasping it. And I think sometimes that when we feed people through a restaurant industry or at home in the meal, that people bring baggage to them. All those apostles had baggage. So we have people that come to our restaurant that have baggage, and sometimes they're having a real bad day, and they take it out on our waitress or our waiter or our dishwasher or the person, they're not in a good mood. So we trained our employees to try to get into their brain a little bit and be compassionate towards whatever day they're having, because everybody brings baggage. And Jesus saw that, and Jesus brought that meal intimacy to help heal them. And food heals people. And as a restaurant owner, you see that every day, is that people come to eat good food, and it makes their day. It creates a memory for them, and and Jesus created a memory for us. I mean, do this in remembrance of me. It means to make present again. He wants communion to be present with him in every meal. So we try to convey that to our customers coming in.